Hello everyone and welcome to Frappes and Frequency. This is a presence-led space for somatic reflections, tuning into what is being felt in the moment. So take a moment to grab your favorite bevvy, let's take a deep breath and let's see what's going on. So if you do need to grab something, you can pause obviously. But let's take some deep breaths to arrive here together and just sink into the here and now. So you can take a deep breath in through the nose, pause at the top and exhale out and pause at the bottom. Or just be in a space of even just witnessing the breath without necessarily fixing it. So just observing what is happening in the moment. Observing if anything is arising, any thoughts, any sensations. Again, not to fix, but just to be the observer. I'm going to invite you to take one more deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, if you're not driving, you can slowly open up your eyes, just reorienting into your space. So you can do this by just having a look around the room, not trying to label anything, and just bringing your awareness back to the screen. So a lot of interesting writing happening, so we'll see what comes through the cards. What do we want to start with? Okay, let's see. I mean, how has everybody been feeling? I mean, this is a timeless reading, so, you know, whenever you come across this, then there is a message here for you. I'm seeing this word disruption, and prior to that, I felt the disruption with the shuffling, like it just felt really disjointed. So I might just write that word down. Okay, let's see. Okay. So 4 cards came out pretty much immediately, so I will show them to you. We've got Healer, Veiled, Jealousy. This card came out upside down, and Guides. The bottom of the deck we have Release, just gonna sit with this for a minute. I might pull some more actually. What do we want? What do we want? Interesting. Okay. So I just felt to pull some charms, but I will get some cards as well. What else? This is usually not how this is done. Oh, interesting. I'm just seeing the words release needs to happen, and pressure in brackets. And that was the last card. Oh, that was the card underneath. Last card. That's a bit interesting, isn't it? What it could imply is like this is the last chance, last opportunity, last card. Like you've put all your cards out on the table. Yeah, interesting. I'm just going to speak to being aware of self-sabotaging yourself in whichever way that looks. As in, from a reflective process, if something's going on in your life that, and I'm obviously speaking to this physical body or projection, if something's going on in your life where there's either, conflict or discontent, something to that effect, being mindful of any fingers being pointed specifically from yourself. Maybe it's coming from other people, but pointing fingers towards other people, it's like that saying, if you point at someone, you have like 3 fingers pointing back at you type of thing. So it's more from a reflective positioning where be mindful of how and what you're projecting out, because inadvertently it's arising to you. So there's a requirement for some type of reflection, or even allowing things space, sitting with I'm hearing or seeing the word emotion. Because after meditation, I saw this image of it's kind of like a mini video in my mind. What did I write? Like staring down, like playing with, okay, just bear with me while I try to explain this. Pointing a gun at someone, but then you're looking down the barrel yourself, which could inadvertently go off, right? So being mindful of what you're projecting out, because what you put out there, I suppose, in a way of saying, what you put out there, it only reflects back on you. So if you're going out there projecting ideas to people, whatever that is about, being mindful of how that is affecting your own karma and your own learning. There's always opportunities to be reflective and self-attentive. I mean, we're always self-attentive, right? Essentially. Let's get a card for each. So I pulled some charms, and on the healer card, we have a starfish, a horse, and an owl. So obviously an owl is a nocturnal creature, but it's usually a representative of wisdom, of innate wisdom, maybe even unconscious, things that are unconscious. There's like some conflicting energies with the starfish, which is a creature in the deep. It's actually interesting because it's all represented, all these representations are different elements. So we've got land, like the horse, we've got air with the owl, and we've got water with the starfish. So what are we missing? Fire. And then we've got the Judgment card with the healer. So there may be some aspect of, I'm hearing the word interrogation, but this is self-interrogation. Yeah, I do find that interesting that fire is not there. So this could just speak to being a very internal process, whatever this is. And usually the Judgment card speaks to awakening, an awakening of sorts, like a realization, stepping into a metaphoric, what was that word? There's some kind of acceptance here with this, some release, so to speak, some level of deeper awareness. And I mean, you've got the healer card as well. So you may be, there may be some process of healing. Maybe you are working with the 5 elements. Oh, interesting. Interesting, because I said 5 elements. There are 4 elements: earth, fire, wind, air. But they say there's a 5th. And I forget what that is, that may speak to consciousness. And obviously these are concepts, right? But yeah, this is interesting. There's also an overlap with the senses, with the 5 senses. How you perceive. But yeah, 5 elements. And I'm just being reminded, okay, so I'm being reminded of the movie The Fifth Element, because in the movie there are 5 elements. So this is bizarre. So there is earth, air, water, fire, and the 5th one is heart, I believe. So like love. So the 5th element is love. So yeah, so when you are, I'm just going to speak to us because it's coming through, but when you are in a process of trying to navigate some kind of situation, there is a need to approach it with love, as opposed to pointing the gun at someone or even at yourself, right? There's just a need for deep compassion and awareness. Okay, let's continue. So on the Veiled card, we have, oh, that went a bit high, didn't it? Cold. And now I'm being reminded of the, what was her name? In the 5th element, where she's this blue creature, which is fascinating because I'm literally holding a creature that looks, oh my gosh, very similar. Like, if not this mask person, this squid-like thing with its tentacles. And in the movie she does have tentacles. I'll have to try to think of a name. I'll just call her Tentacle Lady for now. But she's like blue, and she's hiding something in her literal body. She's hiding one of the elements within the form. Interesting. I don't know why I did that again. Okay, veiled. Tell us more about the veiled. Okay, Page of Cups in reverse. I'll show it to you upright. So when it's in the right side up, this is an energy of a like dreamy kind of environment. Where things are possible. Like it's when pigs fly. Like, how does this want to be said? Possibilities, right? When pigs fly. So why is it in reverse? I'm also getting drawn to the lack of the fire energy. So perhaps what is being veiled is that passion, is that I might get another one on that. Why the Page of Cups? It's like this energy of wanting to say, it's the opposite of like dreamy vibes, but got the Eight of Wands to clarify that, which is and there's your fire, actually. Fast moving energy. So there seems to be some sort of denial, or what's that word, like dissonance? Perhaps this mask energy is I heard like protection, because in the movie she is the protector of this element. You know what? I'll just figure out which element. I feel like it's water. I'll put these. I really should have an iPad so I can check this, but I'm trying to remember which element it was that she had within the body. I want to say it's water, but I could be wrong. But she was the protector of it. She was the one that was holding on to this element. So there seems to be a protection of sorts. But is it showing up as self-sabotage? Is there a aspect of yourself that is not being represented or not being expressed? And why? Because right next to that is the jealousy card. When I was doing all the notes in that, there was this note about disruption to re-educate a narrative, not teaching more delusion. And I don't know why I'm... Okay, I'm just going to read this out, just most of what's on this page per se. So alarms going off, so there might be actual realizations. or intuitive, some type of intuition, alarm bells going off or something going off, going, wait, something's not right here, or something's up. Whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant. There's just some type of notification or ringing, or something's ringing. How does this want to be said? There will be there's an awareness of, this is want to be expressed, man. Anyway, I'll read the rest. Distractions getting louder, more people joining in, unaware of boundaries. Then release needs to happen, pressure. Let's see. There's also a song that came through, which was Tony Braxton's Breathe Again. Perhaps that's where you're at, in a space of needing to breathe again, needing to find yourself. I also had an ache in the third eye chakra. Maybe something is blocking you, this veiled energy, from being the healer, because we've got healer, veiled, jealousy, guides. So I'll just show you the jealousy card. I don't know if I did show you. Jealousy, and then guides. So it's almost like a blockage to intuition, to go deeper down this pathway of discovering yourself, and to not concern yourself if there are energies around you that are provoking, I'm hearing, or if there are some jealous energies, or envious jealousies, however that plays out. And I do have the hand of Fatima or hand of Hamza that came with it, which is like validating this protection, from that. This evil eye on the card, it's called an evil eye. It's not really evil eye, it's actual protection. So even those two symbols together is highlighting that never mind what is happening around you during this process, there is protection. And just to add to that, when we are going through a process of releasing narratives, here this disruption to re-educate a narrative. So if you're re-educating a narrative, that's just how it came through, but how I see that is just dismantling oh my god, dismantling the narrative altogether. That can disrupt energies around you. So however that presents itself, whether that is people, or whether that is just the mind or bodily sensations. So maybe you're feeling it in the body, or maybe the thoughts are hyperactive, more active than before, as you're going through this process of an awakening. Let's just use that word. We also have Pegasus, which is an interesting combination. Maybe there's some ties to Egyptian mythology. You might want to look that up. Pegasus. Let's pull a card for that. There's also a possibility that when you started this process of stepping into whatever this healer/judgment card is, there may have been some internal conflict, or just a lot of external projections coming at you real fast. But it's interesting because I'm not doing a spread for this, but the healer and the guides cards are on the outside. So there is like this bubble of protection, and whatever is going on here is held within. So this is a very much internal process of investigation. We've got King of Wands and the jealousy. But he's showing up in the upright here. So Leo is showing up here. This is standing your ground, knowing, being quite assertive, being quite confident. So why the King of Wands with jealousy? I'm wondering if this is how you were showing up, or how this is how, like, as you're unraveling from this narrative, this is how you're showing up. You're showing up as the King of Wands. You're showing up as this badass leader, but not from a, I'm hearing condescending perspective. From a, I know who I am, and I know what I'm working towards, or I know that I'm protected. So whatever, and I'm just feeling discomfort in the left hand side lower back, which is the feminine aspect. So maybe lack of support from either female or feminine energy, or even jealousy from a female energy. This is what's showing up. I'm just speaking to what's showing up in the now. Maybe even a lot of emotion as it's moving down to the hip. But you're standing your ground. You're standing in your, so to speak, king energy. Okay, let's get another card for this King of Wands. 3 of Pentacles, collaboration. Maybe you're working with other people to either create something or unravel from something. With the yarn here. What are you creating? Creating what? Maybe memories, maybe creating new memories, or maybe revisiting childhood or nostalgia. This could be family or even friends. Maybe receiving support from people from your past, or maybe you're even reflecting on this process, like how this came to be, and being in this process, holding space for this reflective process is helping you connect with other people, with family, with your past, with old ideas, even reconciling them. Just, and it's not number 23 is here as well on the jealousy card. 3, 6, 8, 20, 32, 7. Yeah, this is energy of being assertive while this jealousy is kind of transpiring, and knowing that you are protected from it. But there seems to be this, you know, making connections, either making connections with people from your past or aspects of you from the past. But there seems to be very collaborative energy. You could well be even working through your own shadow. That's the collaboration. And I use shadow lightly. This is ego. Maybe even consolidating. Interesting. Let's get a card for guides. So, interestingly enough, you may, if you're seeing like cats, lots of cats, or even bees, this may be for you. Or it may be showing you that when you see these animals, know that you are being guided, so to speak, protected. And I said Egyptian, I said Egyptian mythology before. Cats are very respected in Egyptian mythology, and I feel like bees play a really important role as well. It's represented in Egyptian mythology. What the connection is, though, not too sure. We've got 8 of Swords in the reverse. So what I perceive from these two cards here is being in that reflect, like really actually being in a process where you are addressing the shadow with just looking in the mirror there, going within. Again, disruption from the narrative, disruption to re-educate, realign, or dismantle completely this narrative. Because when the 8 of Swords shows up, this is this inward, this is creating these narratives and overwhelm, but it's all self-imposed, self-inflicted. So when it's showing up in the shadow, when the card is showing up in the shadows, it's showing up in the reverse, it's stepping away from that now. You're starting to identify things. You're starting to see things for what they are. Maybe this is your intuition going, yeah, what the hell? You know, either people outside of you helping you connect the dots and seeing these things, or this is you're through this process of healing and working with these elements. Perhaps it didn't start out with this, because the fire element in the tarot can also speak to creativity, right? So this could speak to just aligning with or working with the more subtler energies, like going within, sitting with yourself. And that could have been a very difficult process for you, and to the point where you weren't showing of yourself. You were perhaps there's, and I'm surprised it hasn't come out yet, but perhaps there was like you were in your hermit era or something like that. Now let's get another card for that. And as you're stepping out, King of Swords, King of Wands, interesting, King of Swords. Let's see which card. Oh, 4 of Wands. Yeah, there's this aspect of holding back. Like this, there was this holding back intuition, or not even listening to your intuition, not integrating. not like, yeah, I'm getting this feeling that there was a lot of self-imposed ideas. Perhaps from external figures, right? Perhaps from external figures that now you've come to the realization, okay, I really need to work through this. And I feel like that was here somewhere. Like, breathe again. Tony Braxton, breathe again. I'm trying to remember the lyrics now. Anyway, you can have a look at that song yourself. There was also sacral chakra discomfort, so that does speak to creativity. It says, don't hold your breath, continued disruption, same looping speech or ideas, repetitive patterns. So this is just the disruption. That's what the disruption is. And at the beginning, there was brazen and golden, right? Brazen, that's king of wands energy, this boldness. Golden is the color of creativity, but also a song, yeah. What does that song speak about? It speaks about stepping into yourself. Oh my gosh, I wish I'd looked through these lyrics before I came in here. But there is also here, you haven't lost anything, nothing is lost. Find the right people to talk to. That's what I was trying to find. Find the right people to talk to, or be open to it. And like looking at, people from a professional capacity. Ooh, interesting. Okay, let's... I hope this is making sense. But yeah, the main aspect of this is not to teach more delusion, re-education, particularly in regards to a narrative. Okay, we need to look at what that is. What is this narrative? But let's just get an overall theme card here. Yeah, these cards are not even shuffling right now, so... Tell us some more. When you're being guided, there's protection, always the temple. So yeah, going within. Or even finding your faith. Finding faith in, by going to church, or just realigning with something that is of a higher frequency. Look at that, the shadow. Yep, some may be actually working with shadow as in like really sitting with some difficult things, sitting with some difficult emotions, sitting with this disruption, all this jealousy. What was I going to get a question about? The narrative. What do I want? Tell me about this narrative. Seeing the Libra, and there we are. There's the King of Swords. Here's the King of Swords. Justice. King of Swords, justice. Maybe it is about finding peace within. I'm hearing without or without, so maybe finding peace without something. What is this narrative? What is the narrative? Page of Wands. This speaks to a quite young-ish, naive energy. Maybe inspiration. How does that fit? The narrative could be around not having any ideas or having limiting beliefs, whether it is about creativity, maybe even motivation. Yeah, so there could be some limiting beliefs around creativity. Let's have another card for the narrative. Six of Swords, and what you're walking away from or have walked away from. This could be about self-belief, not believing in yourself. And there's also this aspect of uncertainty, and like once you've left something, maybe, I'm just getting this, maybe you're changing careers and you have to show up in a different way, or you have to, like you're stepping into this new young idea or prospect or opportunity to do something. There's a little bit of self-doubt here. Or uncertainty. One more. But the fire is what is being veiled. So this, yeah, this is self-doubt, self-belief in your abilities, so to speak. It could be like you're stepping, Nine of Pentacles, stepping away from comfort is a little bit jarring, right? Like stepping away from the known, from the certainty, or perhaps you were, let's just use this example, you were in a field for a very long time and now you're stepping into this new opportunity, this very young opportunity. I'm just using that word because that's how it's brand new. It's not quite the Ace of Wands, right? It's just these like almost like invitations to step into something. I don't know why that was said, but whatever. What else can I use? I feel like even just that was a lot. Like that needs to be dissected in a way. Like why are you veiling this fire? Like what are you afraid of, in other words? It could be like financial, it could be fear, maybe to do with comfort, finances. like not sure that you'll be able to pull it off. But you're protected, like this. Lightning, disruption. We said that. Okay, we said that. Rainbow, hope. So yeah, there is this eagerness to try something new or to be in a new environment, but this shadow, you're veiling yourself. This is, like I said at the start, this is self-sabotage. So, you know, if it's not external influences or people like, I'm wondering if there was a narrative around your capacity or your abilities. And this is what needs to be re-educated. Like maybe you were told, oh yeah, no, you shouldn't do that. I don't, that doesn't suit you. Maybe you should do something else. I'm just speaking out loud. Let's get one more. Stability. Yeah. So anchor into your hope, or anchor into the now. Ground yourself. Because you're on this path for a reason. Anchor into your journey. Or sit with this disruption, whatever that is. Because pretty soon, after a storm, after a lightning strike, you do tend to see rainbows, right? So trust the process. Moon emotions. We said that. What was that? And that's card 23. So perhaps being mindful of your emotions around this. Some guidance. That's a lot, but I'll show you the cards. Fence, boundaries. So boundaries are needed. Coins, good luck. You just happen to find these pennies on the ground. It happens without you thinking about it. So just go on and do whatever that you're doing right now. Because there is a process of metamorphosis happening. So what gets done on within shows up outside of you. Manifests outwardly, so to speak. This is I'm in a really interesting space right now. Key opportunities and crown personal power. That's a King of Wands. The opportunity, yeah, I mean, so essentially, we just need to sit with these emotions, right? Sit with these disruptions, like integrate the shadow, because that is shadow. That's what that is. And perhaps having some boundaries. So if you're needing to retreat, if you're needing to go into your little cocoon and go into hermit mode so that you can process everything that's happening, even process your thinking, like being really reflective and asking yourself some questions about what or how am I not showing up in the fullest capacity of me, like, right, the 5 elements, or where am I lacking love in the form of like self-attentiveness, self-love. I hope that makes sense. What else? Oh, let's get a card from here. Let's get a couple of cards. Down. Yeah, so I think the main message here is stay on this process of going within, of self-investigation, of healing. And even if it is based that this fire energy, like maybe you're not seeing that fire, like, and maybe that in and of itself is like a little bit off-putting, like I just don't have motivation, there's just no fire, there's no desire, that's lacking. Maybe you're having a bit of a creative block. Sit with that, right? Because we get told a lot of stories, a lot of narrative about, what's that saying? Like, go where the fire is, or it's not that, I forget the actual phrasing of it. Follow your fire, follow your passion, right? There's a lot of pressure on us to do that. And so when we're in a space where we're just being reflective and we're not necessarily feeding this fire or fueling this fire or fueling this desires, let's say, that can be a little bit uncomfortable. But the overall message is to sit with that, always. Sit with these emotions, sit with these difficult. Okay, clearly you need some boundaries, okay? Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And when I was shuffling the red cards prior to starting, the boundary card, I saw that. So this doesn't necessarily mean boundaries with other people. This could be boundaries with yourself as well. Okay, that's a lot. We'll read them. Okay, so no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. That's a boundary. No is a complete sentence. Trust the niggle. What is the niggly feeling trying to tell you? So I was speaking to you about intuition before. And Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Yeah, trust the process. Trust the process. You're on the right track. And even if there are disruptions, just be with it. You don't need to like invest your time or energy in it. Remember, 6 of Swords, you were stepping away from it. I hope that makes sense. Thanks for hanging with me for a bit. Yeah, I know my energy is a bit strange today, but it is what it is. Like my t-shirt literally says it is what it is. But yes, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.